drop kick to start the proceedings by the Gamecocks. You always have to remember Beamer ball. That's Shane Beamer on the sidelines. On the return, Wiltshire takes it out near the 30-yard line. We have a flag down already on the first play of the football game. Let's sort things out as Luke Altmaier takes the field for the Fighting Illini. Roddy, that's the first drop kick we've seen all year.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 32, 10-yard penalty, first down.
And he's going to get the call on the first carry of the football game. Lawfrey stopped by Debo Williams and Dylan Stewart at Illinois. Looking at 2nd down and 8 for his offense. Fighting Illini without their top receiver coming into the ball game, and might have used him on that play as Altmaier is sacked on the play.
And Mark, the big question for South Carolina, how would they replace
South Carolina 15 wearing 47.
His replacement, Brian Thomas Jr., gets a sack on the first chance.
They got good pressure on him. Boy, there was contact and a flag subsequent to that as Juju McDowell tried to get the punt. He wasn't able to get close to it. He got rocked.
There is no for catching interference. It'll be first down.
On 1st and 10, Sellers delivers a dart complete to his tight end Joshua Simon, who is the leading receiver on the South Carolina squad. He picks up 8.
And the timing and accuracy is something that new offensive coordinator Mike Schuler talked to us about. With Dowell Loggins going on to App State, Mike Schuler, who's been on the sideline in Lenore Sellers here, takes over as offensive coordinator. And he talked about Lenore Sellers' improvement with his eyes and decision-making in the pocket.
They're going to keep it on the ground on 2nd down. That's Oscar Attaway. Sellers ran for 166 yards in that Clemson game, so a viable rush option for South Carolina. Going to hand it off, and they'll get the first down. Oscar Attaway straight ahead between the tackles, picks up 3, close to 4. Completes another pass to his same tight end. Ball comes out, but it goes right to Attaway, who caught it on the fly out of the arms of Simon. Somebody must have went to church today. They picked up 14.
Well, if you want to do it unconventionally, add a way to do it. Ball goes up in the air, and Oscar's Johnny on the spot.
They move the chains again.
Not exactly how you draw it up, but my goodness.
1st down and 10 from the 30. Sellers with nowhere to go, eludes the rush. Quickly up at the line of scrimmage, Attaway again pounding away. Alex Spray making the tackle for the Fighting Illini.
Miss Rocket Sanders at some point, but right now, the way Oscar Attaway's running the ball, I haven't missed him at all.
Sure is. On the quarterback counter, Sellers inside the 14. Jordan Howell in the backfield giving Attaway a breather. And he gets the call. Off tackle over the right side of that offensive line. Ryan making the tackle on the play. On 2nd and 6. Sellers dancing around the pocket. Harper in motion. Sellers out of the backfield and met immediately at the 11-yard line by Meade. The catch was made by Attaway. He had nowhere to go. And it brings up a 4th down, and in comes the field goal unit, led by Alex Herrera.
This Illinois defense plays the 2nd most man coverage of any defense in the entire country. But when you have Lenore Sellers at quarterback, they told us they would likely have a lot more eyes on him playing zone coverage. Saw a lot of zone coverage on that drive. And all South Carolina could do was dink and dunk. Great reaction by that Illinois defense.
And that sets up this 29-yard field goal attempt by Herrera. And he gets it inside that right upright as the Gamecocks cash out on that drive. these teams looking for their 10th win of the season. And South Carolina, its 7th win in a row. Fighting Illini will have it first down and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Altmaier almost intercepted, incomplete. There's a flag down the play. Franklin, the intended receiver, working against Judge Collier.
Pass interference, defense number 15, correction number 20, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
See Judge Collier kind of has that hand before he turns back to look at the ball. Has that hand wrapped around the shoulder of Zachary Franklin. There's not a ton there other than that I would have called, but Bryant has been a massive playmaker for Illinois' offense all year long.
Almost 1,000 yards on the season. Over the middle, the try complete. With room to go. Beatty got the pylon, just short of it. Half a yard out. First and goal. First and goal. They're up at the line of scrimmage quickly. No signal. He didn't get in. That was McCray. And the ball seemingly came loose or not.
Rolling on a fumble recovered in the end zone by South Carolina. That's a touchback. First down.
Wow.
So the ball looked like it had broken the plane. Let's bring in our rules expert, Bill Lamagna. Bill, what do you see on these replays?
I tell you what, every view I look at is more confusing than the last. But I see your point on that. You know, is he possibly even down before the ball comes out? I definitely don't believe it's a fumble, but I don't think we have indisputable video evidence.
Yeah, great opportunity. Falls by the wayside for the Fighting Illini. First and 10. Attaway trying to get to the corner. Goes north-south up to the 25. Brought down by Torrey Cox Jr. Brown in motion. They keep it on the ground again. Nick Harbor split wide to the top of your screen. The fastest player on the field today. Sellers looking his way, but comes underneath and incomplete behind Jared Brown. It'll be fourth down coming up. In comes the punt unit. And Katie, who made that long catch and run down to the 1-yard line a moment ago. A low line drive. He'll have an opportunity on this. Katie makes one guy miss and a couple more. But corralled to the 24-yard line on that 54-yard punt. First down and 10 for Illinois, and another flag.
Delay a game. Defense using disconcerting signals. 5-yard penalty. First down.
See if we can see what they were called for with the disconcerting signals.
Was it Dylan Stewart there?
It may have been. It's a good question. It seems like it was some sort of sound that was made. Let's go. Rules expert Bill Lamagna.
All right, second and 5. And look at this, another flag.
That time there was an abrupt movement. I would call it a shift by the defense.
False start. Offense number 85. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
I would say some of that stuff you chalk up to being off for a minute.
Looking at second and 10 on the draw play. Lockery in space.
The officials either didn't see
After
or
the play
couldn't
was
get there
over,
in time,
unsportsmanlike
and there was an
conduct.
entanglement and a
Defense
scrap
number 4.
going on. And this is going to be
Disqualification. That's a 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
But likely with Drew.
They fake the jet sweep and then hand it off once again to Aiden Lockery. Swain making the stop on the play. A local product that grew up close to Champaign, Illinois, in campus.
Extra lineman on the field.
On second and short, there he is again. Got to the outside and picked up the first down. Swain in on yet another tackle. And boy, that is an incensed head coach, Shane Beamer. He is hotter than July right now. First and 10. Beatty gonna throw it, and a little trickery goes awry. There's Franklin. He's gonna be the go-to guy today. Picks up the first down at the 27-yard line. He was working against Judge Collier. 11-yard pickup from the 27 now. Boy, Lafferty hit the hydraulics. Man, there's some defenders out there, Roddy, that need new brake pads with how quickly Aiden Lafferty slammed on the brakes. He picked up 5.
And he shook one guy out on the perimeter and then gets off that, spins past another.
2nd and 5. Valentine into the boundary, stopped up about a yard short. McCray, the deep back from the offset eye. They give it to the up back, Anderson, and he gets just enough, it appears, for the first down. That was Jordan Anderson, the bigger of the two backs. With 3 to the bottom of your screen, they run the counter with McCray. And he picks up about 4.
The bigger safety, rangy, skilled guy.
Altmaier in distress. Gets rid of it. No touchdown, short of the end zone. A half a yard out. Franklin with a brilliant, spellbinding effort. The fans are looking at the replay on the big board, thinking this was a score rate.
All right, so Connie Franklin catches it. You can see 2 feet in bounds. The thing is, he doesn't touch the pylon, and so he doesn't get goal line extended, which means the ball would have to cross the plane inside the goal line in the field of play. Does it do that? Can't really tell. Can't really tell from that angle.
After further review, it was a touchdown.
The Fighting Illini have taken the lead, and we'll switch ends now.
This is official at the end of the first quarter.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
On 1st and 10, coming back the other way, a punishing, bruising run by Josh McCray. Put his hat down and stood on business that time. Picked up 11 to move the chains. Pressure off the edge. The pass complete out to the perimeter. That's Elsie. And he is close. It looks like he picked up another first down for the Fighting Illini with an 11-yard gain. Toss into the boundary. That's McCray again. Going to be brought down at about the 37, close to the 38-yard line. Young man married with a couple of children. On 2nd down and 8. Nowhere to go this time for Josh McCray. Going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage by Goodwine. Warren Stewart wearing number 6. They get it out quickly. Beatty never got to the first down marker, way short in fact. Ford making the tackle for South Carolina. It's going to be 4th down on the 5-yard gain. Did you expect a low-scoring game like this?
A little bit. I mean, both these defenses have been very good all year long.
Ball bounces harmlessly. And now it takes a South Carolina bounce out to the 34-yard line on the 25-yard punt. 1st down and 10 for the Gamecocks. And there Sellers completes it. And brought down immediately is Oscar Attaway for a gain of 6 on the play. Attaway, a transfer from North Texas. Got a clean pocket, finds his man out of the backfield. Again up to the 47-yard line. Attaway making the catch and picking up the first down.
Watch his eyes. His eyes are going to start this way and then work back from the left to the middle to the right. Does a really nice job of being patient in the pocket.
Attaway brought down for a loss of about 3 on the play by Akis. Sellers, they get it out to Attaway again. Looking for a block, won't get one. Going to be limited to a pickup of about 3 yards. Matthew Bailey making the tackle on the play. They talked about using Bailey a little bit differently going into the game.
They told us he was sort of going to be one of the keys to look at in terms of dictating coverage. Plays so much man coverage typically that Matthew Bailey can be used deep or in that man-to-man coverage, but he's been a guy today that's been a half in cover 2. He's been down at the line of scrimmage. That was at linebacker level for this 3rd down.
3rd and long. They've got to get to the 44. Sellers with time. Caught at the 39-yard line and a 1st down. Nick Harbor, the world-class sprinter with the reception. When I say world-class, folks, I don't say that lightly. He has gone sub 10-2 in the 100.
This is a world-class throw. Illinois Sellers puts it right on the 8 of Nick Harbor and used that big body to shield the defender.
15-yard gain on the play. Sellers getting the requisite protection again. And now showcasing his improvisational skills and his strong arm. Back to the action on the toss, wide side of the field on 2nd and 10. Going to be a gain of about 3 on the play. Let's call it 4. It was Juju McDowell. Sellers going to do it himself. Oh man, he made 2 guys miss and picked up enough for the 1st down. Malachi Hood is saying to himself, that must be jelly because jam don't shake like this.
It feels like he finally decided, all right, I'm just putting the cape on. We're going to make something happen.
Oh.
I mean, makes 1 guy miss, makes a 2nd guy miss. You're right, Malachi Hood. You really, I mean, that's a no-win situation. You just got to try and hope you grab onto something.
Sellers comes underneath, checks it down. McDowell again.
I think in the early stages of next year, Illinois Sellers should absolutely be on those Heisman watch lists, especially with some improvement throwing the football.
He's going to throw it here. Completes it at about the 20-yard line. 3rd and 3.
Illinois has gone man-to-man coverage on 3rd downs. If they do so here, watch the legs of Illinois Sellers if everything's covered.
McDowell motions out of the backfield. Sellers nowhere to go. Going to be stopped up short. The impregnable, impervious Illinois defense makes it 4th down. Alex Herrera from 41 yards out. You heard it. You heard the sound of disappointment resonating across that pristine field. No good. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones. Roddy Jones, Quinn Kesnick down on the field. Roddy, when we see how this team responds, South Carolina, outside kick. They might not even have possession, or do they?
Shane Beamer's got to be breathing a sigh of relief because Illinois has a great shot to recover this.
Wow.
Goes right through the hands of one of the players on the kickoff team that are trying to recover it. South Carolina is able to dive on it. Shane Beamer prides himself on that Beamer ball aspect. The special teams had not gone his way so far today, but that one certainly did.
Illinois Sellers largely bottled up in the run game in the 1st half. He's going to hand it off here. Little or no gain for Oscar Attaway.
Illinois on defense has done a great job of not letting Illinois Sellers' legs hurt them all that much, stringing him to the sideline. And South Carolina's defense, Illinois was down on the 1. They forced a fumble, ended up recovering it in the end zone. Both of these defenses have come up big at times.
Here they are trying the jet sweep, and nowhere to go for Jared Brown, who got rocked near the line of scrimmage and at midfield. Sellers looking to pass. No, it goes sacked at the 40.
So Resetic starts back here, and then watch what happens over the course of the play. He's spying from all the way back in the secondary And then pause it, guys. Look at the distance he has to cover.
Wow.
Like a missile from the secondary. Just goes for it with Lenore Sellers. A great pursuit from the inside. He ends up making the sack from distance.
A great defensive game plan there. Beatty on the punt return. Makes a couple of guys miss, and Beatty on a 12-yard punt return. That's going to be marked at about the 20 on the 49-yard punt. Walker in the backfield takes the handoff. Nowhere to go, hit right away by Dylan Stewart. Pressure on Altmaier and incomplete. Into heavy traffic, incomplete. So they should get decent field position after this punt by Pinton. It's going to bounce on Illinois' side of midfield. Sellers completes it to his tight end Simon, making it another reception. Picks up 14 on the play.
Got a corner blitz off the edge. Joshua Simon was lined up wide. Despite being the tight end, comes up, hooks up, and Lenore Sellers is doing a good job distributing underneath.
Has a clean pocket to survey. Pulls incomplete down the sidelines. Intended for number 8, Nick Harbor, who couldn't hang on to it. Sellers over the middle. Way high, incomplete for Brown. Sets up a 3rd down and 10.
Illinois has gone man in this situation. Looks like they're going to drop numbers and play zone.
Sellers is 14 of 22. Has all day back there. Pulls complete. And they're going to end up about a yard shy of the 1st down. Attaway making the catch. Let's see what kind of package they have in here. 4th and 1. They're going to pick up the 1st down and then some. Attaway taken off. Attaway. There he is. Touchdown.
Oscar Attaway sees the cutback. A couple of them. He gets some nice blocks by the offensive line and then uses the speed to race into the end zone ahead of Matthew Bailey getting to him. Crucial 4th down conversion and finally an explosive play for the South Carolina offense.
Yeah, their first touchdown of the football game coming about 4 minutes and 10 seconds into the 2nd half. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the Illinois 25. Taking a shot downfield, incomplete at the 28-yard line. Good coverage on Elsie. 3rd and 4. Illinois trying to eat. It wasn't cheesy, but they got the 1st down. Beatty with the 1st down reception for 11 yards.
Maybe not cheesy, but it was breezy.
Yeah. On the out pattern, incomplete again for Hank Beatty. Remember, he had that 59-yard long catch and run on the RPO. Taking a shot. His receiver fell, and it's picked off by Kilgore. And Kilgore tackled at the 31. Gamecocks with the turnover.
It's probably an ambitious throw to start, and then the receiver falls down. Some contact. Zakari Franklin goes down.
1st and 10, coming back the other way. Sellers throws a short dart complete to the 34-yard line to Bennett Jr. Picks up 4 yards on the play. On the cutback by Howell, stopped in the hole by Matt Bailey. On 3rd and 3, option into the boundary, and they're going to pick up the 1st down.
Let's see some of that wear.
Sellers. What a wonderful touch pass, caught by Nick Harbor. On the screen pass. Ball's on the ground. Illinois has it on the recovery. The fumble by Howell, and fighting Illini have the ball.
Rolling on the field.
Ezekiel Holmes made a big hit to draw it loose. First and 10. Illinois. Little slice of daylight over the left side of the offensive line. Loffery running behind J.C. Davis, who's a big-time talent and leader up front. Picks up 11.
+3 in the Kansas game, and this is a team that has done a great job creating turnovers.
Altmaier passes it on the out into the boundary, complete. They keep it on the ground. Loffery, a nice gain of maybe 4, makes it 3rd and 1. Demetrius Knight making the tackle for South Carolina. Josh McCray in the backfield. Takes the handoff. He got the first down. Bludgeoning his way down to the 41-yard line. He picked up 2. Altmaier incomplete near the 40, intended for Goda. 2nd and 10. That pass complete to Franklin. Going to be about a yard shy of the first down. McCray is his tailback to his left. It's McCray. He's going to pick it up. Got the first down on the gain of 3. And right now, just on the outside of the 30-yard line. Talked about McCray at 235 pounds. Man, he's the lightning in bad weather, folks. South Carolina looking for its first 10-win season since 2013. It's been 23 years since Illinois has done it. Altmaier taking a shot deep on the back shoulder. It is complete at the 2 to Dixon. Working against DQ Smith. Altmaier, did he purposefully underthrow that?
He did. He purposefully underthrew it. I don't know if he purposefully underthrew it by this much. It's a tremendous adjustment by Colin Dixon.
McCray in the backfield on 1st and goal. He cuts it back. Touchdown, Fighting Illini.
Watch the interior. And just completely collapsing it down. And look at this lane. That's from inside the 5-yard line. You got 5 yards of space.
Tell you what, those guys up front, Davis, Geske, Kurtz, Henderson, Priestley doing a fantastic job up front for Illinois on that O-line. And they lead now by 4, 14-10. With 2:23 to go in the third. Hey, oh, we got a trick play attempt in the end zone. They run it out on the throwback. Nick Harbour, fastest man on the field, is pushed out of bounds.
Is it going to turn out okay? He's looking like us. Oh man, that was close.
Yeah, snap.
Looks like he wasn't watching their special teams period and even practicing that.
How about that?
Delay game. Offense, number 16. 5-yard penalty. First down.
I actually like that decision. I think the timeout's more valuable than the 5 yards.
Sellers taking a shot wide open. I'm talking room service. It's caught at the 20 by Campbell.
There is a such thing as having too much time to think about the catch. He did bobble. I mean, it took 2 catches and he didn't keep his feet.
Hit him in a face mask. A 60-yard gain, nonetheless. Here's Sellers trying to get to the edge. Chopped down inside the 15 at about the 14. Clark, a 6'1" sophomore from just down I-95, Fort Myers, Florida.
So I used to have to try and block Cam Chancellor.
Oh boy.
You'd go down and you'd cut his legs.
Right.
And you get a thigh to the helmet like that. And let's just say the helmet ain't hard enough when you got 240-pound legs with momentum hitting you. So I know what that feels like.
That can't feel good.
It doesn't.
And what do we have? We have an altercation of some sort down on the field. Shane Beamer is incensed, irate about something.
Brett Bielema walked across the field to take care of his injured player and taunted Shane Beamer with the substitution posture the refs do, the matching signal. He did it repeatedly. Beamer could hardly believe it at first.
Wow, Q.
He taunted Shane Beamer, and Beamer had enough and snapped. Shane just turned to me and said, "You saw what he did. You saw what I did see it.
Here's a look at it.
I did see it." He taunted the opposing coach.
Wow.
There it is. 2nd and 4. Simon in motion now, sets. Sellers fires. Complete to the run. Harbor. Bill Lamonier, this has been brewing for a while with the substitutions. South Carolina substituting right now with the play clock at 25. Play clock below 15. And a perturbed head coach Shane Beamer at the moment, albeit his team at the 1-yard line. And here come more defensive substitutions from Illinois. And a whistle and a timeout. Brett Bielema is smiling.
South Carolina. Their first of the half. 30-second timeout.
It feels like Brett Bielema is in the head of Shane Beamer a little bit.
Sellers hands it off. Nowhere to go. An impregnable defensive front. Meade making the first hit on Attaway. 2nd and goal coming up. But that might have to wait until the end and the beginning of the 4th quarter.
We get a chance to take a breath?
Yes.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
Shane Beamer and Brett Bielema, the respective brain trusts. Son of former head coach Frank Beamer, leading the Gamecocks, and Brett Bielema, Illinois head coach, former player and coach in the Big Ten. Prior to that, Arkansas, his team, defending their end zone right now as we start the 4th quarter. And we got a flag.
False start. Offense number 88. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Watch this left side. Get a couple guys moving, a little bit of a flinch on the edge.
Into the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Simon says, Happy New Year. After all the vitriol and enmity, a scoring drive capped by Josh Simon's 7th touchdown catch of the season. The 25th of his career, and the Gamecocks lead by 3.
Lost in all the craziness of that drive, the emotion, the head coach is going back and forth. It was a really good drive by South Carolina offensively. Looks like it's going to be a zone read, ends up being a tight end pop pass.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 25 for the Illini. Plenty of football to play here. Altmaier under duress. Pass incomplete for Lafferty. Good pressure up front by Kilgore. Beatty in motion. Altmaier comes back the other way. Great move by Lafferty, but it's brought down. Gain about 2 on the play. Hemingway authoring a nice tackle.
Scrambling wise, this offensive line is going to have to protect so we can find one of those 3 receivers to the top.
Beatty in motion. Altmaier looking downfield in traffic, and it's caught by Beatty. Wow.
It was really good protection. And Jalen Kilgore is just fading away. He kind of jumps awkwardly wrong-footed while fading away. And Hank Beatty says, I got cheese too. First down. 9 guys on the line of scrimmage here for Illinois in the formation.
Single back. Lottery over the right side over Brandon Henderson and Melvin Priestley. Same formation, Lottie.
Last time we've seen back-to-back plays with no receivers. 7 offensive linemen and 2 tight ends.
Just rolling up their sleeves and playing some smash ball right now as Lottery picks up 3. On 1st and 10, the toss. This is McCray. McCray still in the backfield. On the flea flicker, Altmaier finds his man at the 27-yard line. Elsie, but there's flags all over the field.
Holding. Defense number 24. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's against Kilgore. We've got some 12 personnel in there, a running back and a couple of tight ends. Altmaier. Well, a nice run, but nowhere to go for Lottery. Made 2 guys miss, but Peyton Williams came in on cleanup duty. 3rd and 4. McCray motions out of the backfield, tipped, but caught. Let's see where they spot the catch. Franklin made a great grab, and they're going to give him the first down. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage by T.J. Sanders.
T.J. Sanders identifies that it's a quick pass, goes up in the air, does what he's supposed to do. The concentration, though, by Zachary Franklin to snag that. You can see clearly past the line of scrimmage when he catches the football. Good call by the official.
1st and 10 from the 16. They hand it off to McCray. Pulls his way down to the 11-yard line. They haven't been able to solve this formation quite yet. Lottery into the bounds with nowhere to go. Got locked. Debo Williams. Debo looked like he took Lottery's bike here. You could hear the shoulder pads popping down in the field. 3rd and 3.
Now as we get close to the goal line, those windows are going to shrink for Luke Altmaier. The 2 guys he's been going to consistently on 3rd down. 4 is Zachary Franklin and 80, Hank Beatty.
Franklin in motion. They fake the jet sweep. McCray, touchdown Illinois! When you aggregate the numbers between McCray and Lottery, you've got one of the best 1-2 punches in the conference. The extra point good, the lead up to 4.